Welcome to A Healthier, Happier You, the people working to make it happen. I'm Evan J. Cholfin from Luxhammer, where we help the brands that help you live healthier. Today, I'm joined by Jennifer Pressimone, CEO of JennScents Inc., clinical aromatherapist and recipient of the 2023 National Association of Holistic Aromatherapy Lifetime Achievement Leadership Award. Jennifer is changing the way aromatherapy industry works through her innovative scent intuitive approach and comprehensive education programs. Jennifer, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Evan, for having me. I'm excited to talk with you today.
Yeah, likewise. So, your journey started with a personal health crisis in your 20s. Can you share your transformative experience?
Sure. I used to be in corporate America. I was a former banker and insurance underwriter and got very sick. I wasn't feeling well. I had taken an antibiotic that ended up causing pseudomembranous colitis, which is a really bad form of ulcerative colitis. And that really just knocked me out. I had to take a sabbatical from work. I couldn't work anymore. I was debilitated. I was just horrible situation. And I did the medical route. I went and did all of the tests. And as you can imagine, 5 years ago, they didn't have the knowledge that we have now, the testing that we have now. I was one of the first to swallow the camera endoscopy. So they watch your intestines on film. I was one of the very first to do that, but came up empty handed. They couldn't figure out why I was so sick and why, I couldn't hold food down. Over the course of a couple years and doing everything, they came back and said, you're in organ failure. There's nothing else we can do for you. We suggest you go to hospice and you start planning end of life services. And not knowing anything in my early 20s. And I thought, okay, the doctors are right. Let me go do that. And never forget the look in my mother's eyes when we, got that news and we started that process. One of the things that I did is my sister said, hey, there's a local herb shop. Maybe you can get some bodybuilding herbs to plump you up and make you look a little bit better, maybe feel a little bit better if this is going to be end of life. And I did, and I got better. Well, I'm here, 23 years later from starting the very first herbal and aromatherapy journey and being introduced to natural health. I had no idea that I could heal myself. That was a concept I didn't grasp until actually many years later. I was so much in the fight, but I fought. I think that's a big difference. When you're not feeling well, it's really hard to know what you need. I surrounded myself and was fortunate to have the right people with the right knowledge at the right time to guide me. That was my introduction to natural health. I can't say I chose it, but it certainly chose me. And from there, I discovered I had a knack for aromatherapy and really understanding the body and why the body breaks down and where it's broken down. I learned remedies from nature that you could match up to bring things back in balance. And I've been doing it ever since.
Oh, it's incredible. So, what led you to pioneer one of the first aromatherapy custom blending bars in the US?
Yeah, that was a really fun time. I think curiosity, and because I didn't know any better, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. And like anything, it starts with an idea. The lady that I met at the herb shop who helped me get better in the beginning, I was working very closely with her, and she said, why don't you just come in and hang out in my shop? It's a positive environment. Come have tea, just hang out with me in the daytime. And I did, and customers would come in and they would see me getting better. They saw me at my worst. And over weeks and months, they saw me getting better and better. And then they would ask, hey, well, I have some issues. Can you help me do whatever you're doing? Well, what do you have? And let me learn about it. And then I can either help you now or I can help you next time. And that's how it started. I mean, just sitting on a couch, sipping tea in a local herb shop, and really listening to what the customers came in for. We just connected on such a level, surrounded and embedded in healing. And that's what I did. I would listen. What do you need? I would go research it. And the internet, it wasn't what it is now. So I would have to find people and experts. I pulled out all of I have a degree in psychology. So I went back and pulled out all my anatomy, all of my science books and figured things out and just put two and two together. And I would make remedies for them and they got better. And then that kept happening. And so then in that same herb shop, the owner gave me a little corner in the shop, and it was a very neat experience because she had an old bank building, a 1921 bank building, and I used to work in the vault in the bank, which was really cool. That's where I started my business. And people would come in, and I, like a bartender, they would come in. I was a scent tender. They would come in and tell me their woes, and I would, like an apothecary, just make things for them right on the spot. And then they would report back to me, and then they would just keep coming back. That was the first aromatherapy custom blending bar. I was having people reach out to me across the US and internationally, especially in Europe and in Asia, to come train, because what I do here, you are medical doctors to do in other countries. So they would bring me in to come teach their doctors and set up custom blending bars so we could create a personalized healthcare system for them instead of having cookie cutter. Because certainly if you have allergies, there's herbs that are going to work, but there's other emotions that go with that. And I was able to pull in my psychology background to really create aromatherapy blends, not only for the physical body, but the emotional side that goes with it.
That's really amazing. So, how does your scent intuitive approach differ from traditional aromatherapy?
It pulls in not just the science side, but your intuitive nature. We're all empaths. It just, some are more connected to their empathic abilities than others. When we are more grounded and more focused and more centered in who we are, we listen to our gut intuition. We all have gut intuition, and you've either listened to it or you've said things like, oh my gosh, I wish I would have listened to my gut instinct. There's this inner voice, this inner wisdom within us that has a knowing. Having training in herbalism, having training in clinical aromatherapy, having training in science, I have been able to heighten my own intuitive abilities to listen. I use the scent energetics to help guide me. Essential oils, they come from plants. They're distilled, they're extracted, and they're processed either through a steam distillation or carbon dioxide process or enfleurage or some different type of extraction process. And we're getting this soul nature from the plant. So the plant, when you distill it, you get the liquid part, the spirit part of the plant. And so now we have plant energetics matched with our own human energetics. The way I have cultivated scent intuitive readings is to pull in from my intuition to really connect with you and hear you and feel you and understand where things are, but then also be guided by my intuition, by spirit guides that come in, using scent as our medium. Just as you see other mediums that have different talents, we're using scent and the energetics of the scent to say, okay, lemon, for example, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being no, I don't like it, or 10 being you love it. If we're doing an energetic, you're just going to give me a number on a scale of 1 to 10. So we'll do it right now. So on the scale of 1 to 10, give me a number.
A 10 for lemon.
Okay, so lemon is a 10. What that tells me is you're open and receptive to whatever the lemon personality does. That's part of the teaching approach that I do, and it's part of the formulation that I do in my products. I know lemon is like a flashlight. It helps you find your way when you feel lost. Lemon is a bright light. And so it helps us find our own light as well. And being a 10 is that you're open and receptive to receiving the light and finding your path, and you're ready for that. Some people who were in a deep depression or in a dark place, it's so dark that either the light is too blinding that no, I'm not ready for that, or they just can't see their way out. So then we have to find something else. And energetically, with the essential oils, we go through a line of different oils to find what that is. All of the oils tell us a story. And so then what I'll do is ask you what thoughts, feelings, and emotions come to mind. Sometimes you know the oil and sometimes you don't. But there's always thoughts and feelings and emotions that come in it. It's the very first thought that you have. And then we elaborate on that. We go deeper with that, and what messages are coming forth, what lessons is it here to tell you, and where are you feeling it in the body? Because where you feel it is telling you where you have trapped toxins or trapped emotions, where you were storing any hidden anger, bitterness, resentment, fear. As a holistic coach, I bring the physiological side and the science side in with that as well, to kind of walk you on this journey to understand why you're behaving the way you are, why you're reacting and responding or not. reacting the way that you feel you should be. I'm just bringing you closer into alignment with yourself.
That's fantastic. I love it.
Me too.
What's been yeah, what's been particularly successful between your custom blending education programs and corporate events?
I think it's really helping people feel validated. We are who we are. You either spend your days trying to be somebody else by analyzing the competition and trying to be somebody you're not, or you're really rooted in yourself. Maybe you're just one step away from being in complete alignment. Oftentimes, we don't know if we're going in the right direction. We question ourselves. There's so much imposter syndrome and self doubt and lack of self worth and self confidence. It's really reaches my heart when I'm talking to clients, even students who don't feel that they're worthy or they're struggling, they're doubting their abilities. Because what I see is you're brilliant. You have so much potential. I wish you believed in yourself as much as I do. And what I can do through a custom blend and through the scent readings and teaching others how to do what I do, we close that gap so that your worth is in alignment with your skills and your values, and you love who you are and you accept who you are and you don't question it and you don't try to be somebody else. We all need to be who we are because we're amazing with all of the gifts and tools that we have. Somebody else that you're watching, they might be in a different chapter of their life or they might have a different skill set, but that's theirs. Let them have their own gifts, but use that as motivation to say, oh, great, they found their lane. Let me find mine. Let me find my alignment so that what I do and who I am are one and the same. We talk about work-life balance, but it's really an integration of the two. If you do what you love and you love what you do, it's one and the same. Every day you stay doing who you are, doing what you do and what your gifts are. The scents keep you there. They keep you in alignment. They reinforce you. They anchor you. We're using it as an anchor to hold you in place, but also to reinforce all of these positive qualities to keep our mind from going down the rabbit hole of negativity and doom and gloom. Because when you're sad or upset or negative, your immune system is cut in half. We need to be supporting our immune system. We need to be supporting our body. And mind is so powerful. It's a powerful way to do that. Scent is your catalyst and helping that stay balanced.
Who would you say benefits most from your services?
Anybody who's ready to heal, anybody who is ready to face themselves. That's a hard thing to look in the mirror and face yourself. Part of what I do in the health coaching and the scent trainings and the scent readings is we find affirmations. Sometimes your affirmation is to look in the mirror and say, I am loved. I am worthy. I am allowed to be me. I was shocked at how many people couldn't do that. They shudder. They can't look at themselves in the eyes, in the mirror. Anybody who feels lost, anybody who knows they have so much to give, so much potential to share, so much that they want to do, and they just need a little bit of help, maybe a tap on the shoulder or a hug around your heart to say, you got this, you can do this. I'm going to help you take one step closer to who you are and who you're meant to be. Anybody who's ready to do that is an ideal person for me. I have had people come to me. I've had spouses come to me and bring their spouse or their partner and say, you got to smell these oils and you got to do what she does. And they're like, I'm just telling you, I'm only here because they brought me here. I don't believe in what you do. I don't know that I want to do any of this. I'm just doing it for them. Okay, that's fine. Let's just have fun with it then. And by the end of it, there's a strong connection. The biggest compliment I've ever had is somebody saying, I never knew I felt bad till I knew what it was like to feel good. I never knew what it felt like to be me until I felt this right now. Even the people that never believe after going through a scent reading or getting a custom blend, they feel different. You're different 2 seconds from now than you were 2 seconds ago. All because of scent. It activates your brain. It activates your limbic system. It activates your ability to tap in and hone in on yourself.
That's incredible. So, changing topics a little bit, What's been your biggest challenge in growing the business?
There's a lot of challenges, I think, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a healer, as a health coach and a healer. The biggest challenges, number one, is you can't help somebody who doesn't want to be helped. That was a big epiphany for me. Of course, I come into this, I want to help everybody. Well, back in the day when I started, my business started officially in 2002. I had been sick several years before that, but that was my claim. That was a hard lesson to realize you can't help everybody. Then growing the business and really staying relevant and staying current because there were changes. My first 5 years of business, I really spent dabbling in a whole bunch of different areas. I dabbled in gift boxes, which now wellness boxes are a huge thing. Who knew? Because I dabbled in that before and I found that wasn't really what lit me up. I liked more personalized custom blending. I still had that skill set, which has helped me today to stay relevant. But the speed as I've continued in business right before COVID, through COVID, and now, I would say the speed of technology, the speed of people have less attention span and they want more. They want more in 2 seconds, but it has to be clear, concise. I think that's a big struggle of how to get your message across of what you do and how you do it and how you can help somebody in 2 seconds. I would say staying relevant with the marketing and the technology, because as a healer, I really am more embodied outside of technology. But in order to communicate, we need the technology just as we're communicating on technology and staying relevant. For me, it's constantly being educated. I'm constantly learning new things. You never stop learning. I'm constantly researching. What are the latest research studies showing? I'm constantly staying in touch with technology. There's a couple people I follow and try to get the Cliff Note version to stay on top of that. But those are some big challenges as a brand, branding yourself, standing out. How do you stand out in a crowd and really show people your heart? There's a lot of cookie cutter approaches. The approach that I continue to take with my business. And when I get stuck and when I catch myself going down one of those rabbit holes, I have to stop myself and go, wait, why did I start this? Why am I doing this? What is my why? Who am I doing my why? I think that's the bigger thing we have to say is who am I standing in my why? That's providing this personalized service for me as a person and as my brand and being able to continuously be creative and innovative. I've always been a leader and I love to be in the lead. It's really hard to be at the end of a race trying to catch up. When I find I'm in that position, I just take myself out of that race and go put myself in the front of another race. We have that ability. We have that power to do that. We just have to know how to do it. And we have to know that we're stuck in doing it.
How are you addressing the increasing demand for personalized wellness solutions?
For me, it's through my school and teaching others. I've really built my brand on having a practice of seeing clients on a daily basis and really just giving and helping on a daily basis. And that takes a lot out of me. I want to make sure that I'm whole for my clients and that I can deliver every single day. And everybody's needing that and everybody's wanting that. And the demand has certainly more than doubled, especially in recent years. The school is a way for me to share my methods. A common thing that my students and my customers say to me and my clients are, I wish I had your brain. Okay, well, come learn with me. I share my brain. And so I have put together my school as a journey. It's a personalized blending journey. We start with the foundation, and I'm giving you the basics and the foundations and the whys behind the why this is relevant, why you need to know this, why things break down. Then we get into the hows. How do you assess? How do you fix all of these things? How do you pull things together? How do you personalize? How do you nurture that and carry that forward? I have a lot of my graduates who are now holistic health practitioners that I refer to. They're my colleagues now that I refer to, and several of them are teaching at the school now. They all have found their niche in their lane, which is different from mine. And so now I'm able to reach more people, and it is that true ripple effect of sharing what I know. What have I learned to be true today? All of my training, all of my experience, all of my education into this model. I share that and then I inspire them and encourage them and mentor them. That's the big thing is I'm mentoring them along the way to drive that forward and realizing I don't have to do it all by myself, but I can mentor other people to do that. That is lighting me up and that keeps us moving forward as an industry and as a society.
Yeah, that's really great to hear. What makes it difficult to stand out in today's natural health market?
I would say still the marketing and the technology, being able to implement processes and systems so that you can do what you do and do it well and keep it personalized, not cookie cutter. There's some great people out there that are really good marketers. They don't necessarily have the best product, but they're great at messaging and marketing and getting lost in that crowd. For me, it's really just reminding people, showing up every day and showing people who I am and who my heart is. I just wake up every day and think about all the people that I want to help. I visualize all the people who need me and all the people who are ready and want to be helped. And then just ask to be put in front of them and be that solution. For me, I had solutions that saved my life. I remember going to doctor's offices and seeing the same people in the same boat with me. When I went back to the doctor's office, some of them weren't there because they didn't make it, but I made it. And I use it as a driving force to remind me I have a story to tell. I have a mission. I have a purpose for being here and just continuing to share that. I think there's room for all of us. There's room for everybody. I don't need to help everybody. I just need to help the people who resonate with me, who hear me, who are in the same boat or have been in the same boat or know somebody who is. Growing up in the industry, I compare it to almost like general medicine. You do everything. When I started in business, we did everything. Where we are today is it's very niche. Everybody has a niche. I've done probably 25, 30 niches simultaneously, but I also spread myself thin. Now it's really defining, and that comes through in the messaging and the marketing of my niche is more the psychology side. It's more of mindset and emotions and motivations and what drives us. And, healing starts in the mind. And so how can we get our mind in the right place and using scent, personalized scent to activate that?
Yeah, that's great. So what are your main growth targets for this year?
I am really focused on reaching health and wellness professionals because I would like aromatherapy. When I first started business in 2002, if I pull out my mission, it was to have aromatherapy as a household name. Well, today, aromatherapy is a household name. Everybody has some form of aromatherapy in their house, whether it's a candle or a cleaning product or a bath and body product. Everybody has bought something in their house based on scent. Aromatherapy is now a household name. And so, where I see myself helping the industry grow forward in my growth targets right now is really to help health and wellness professionals learn the art and the skill match with the science and tapping in with their own intuitive and empathic and healing abilities and implementing aromatherapy. I think it's still a missing link. A lot of people still see it as a fun smell. Oh, it's perfume. It smells great. It's more than that. When you do true aromatherapy, we go back and we look at the Greeks and the Romans, thousands and thousands of years ago, it was used medicinally to help our mind, to help our brain, and to help our body. I would love it to be a staple where we're not just recommending therapy. We're not just recommending go do these foods and go do this herb and go do, this exercise. Along with that, not instead of, but along with it, we have a more integrative approach where you're adding aromatherapy. Go to your certified trained aromatherapist and get a personalized blend. We get your mind in a great place. So everything else you're doing gets anchored in deeper. That's really passion project and really my focus this year. The health and wellness professionals are on the front lines and ready. They have the skill set, they have the knowledge. They just need this amazing tool and how to use this tool. They need the skill to use the tool. That's really where I'm focused this year.
That's great. So, if we were to have this conversation again in 12 months, what would make you feel it's been a successful year?
I would love for aromatherapy to be a staple where we're seeing more articles in the media, not just about the scent or pretty smells and all these fragrances, but the therapeutic benefits that it's delivering. Most people use peppermint for nausea and headache, but we also use it to help break social anxiety, how we can help strengthen mental health. Mental health is at an all-time low. I would love to see that through integrative aromatherapy practices in health coaching and health and wellness, even in medical facilities, that aromatherapy is now a staple and that now our mental health has doubled for the better. Everybody is doing much better, and we're using scent as a functional scent to heal the mind, heal the body, get us in a great place and get us feeling better. When you feel better, you're kinder. And when you're kind, the world's a better place. There's so much negativity. And I think simply by shifting your mindset to keep it in a more positive state, we're going to double kindness efforts. We're going to double positivity. We're going to double belief in yourself. We're going to have people talking about, I believe in myself so much that I did this and this and this. We're not going to hear people saying, oh, I wish I could overcome all of these things that are holding me back. No, we're going to see more of the accomplished list rather than the wish list.
I love that. And I can't wait to be talking about that in 12 months with you.
Me too.
Well, that's it for today's episode of A Healthier, Happier You, the people working to make it happen. A huge thank you to Jennifer for sharing her insights and amazing work that JennScents is doing to help people live healthier, happier lives. If you enjoyed this conversation, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who could benefit. If you're a brand or business making an impact in health, wellness, or personal care, we'd love to help you grow. Connect with me at luxhammer.com. Thanks for listening. Until next time, stay healthy, stay happy, and keep making a difference.